My name is Renato Cruz-Sagecco, and I'm the Vice President of Digital Strategy and Education at BloomNet. I'm also a lead business instructor at the Floriology Institute. Thank you so much for tuning in, especially after reading the article. This is a complimentary video just to give you a few insights into what was written. So I just wanted to go over the 5 strategies that we had outlined that will be important to your business over the next months and even way into the future. So let's just get started. We talked about in digital strategy number 1 of how there's been a mega shift from baby boomers to millennials as the primary market for flowers. And this is really important because for the longest time, we've been talking about millennials as up and coming. This will soon be a huge market. Well, that time has finally arrived, and it arrived right in the middle of this pandemic, which is kind of crazy because in addition to scrambling and doing all the things that you need to do, now you have to absolutely shift your marketing in terms of addressing their needs, concerns, wants, and to be sure that you capture them as a market now and going into the future. And really, it's a shift on the digital marketing side as you de-emphasize certain platforms like even Facebook and move into other platforms like Instagram and TikTok. That's just because that's where millennials live. So that's where you really need to start shifting your resources and addressing that. The other thing that you want to get into that we'll talk about just in a little bit, because it's a separate strategy on its own as a video, but obviously all those platforms, they're all video centric. So the next strategy we'll give a little bit more insight to is marketing messages must be authentic. So given that it's millennials, they really love to get to know you. And when I say you, it's your business and even yourself. So when you start talking and engaging them on social, it can't be all sales. It has to be educational, it has to be how-to, it has to be history. So a tour of the shop, or an interview with yourself and how you got in the business and why you want to be a florist and love being a florist and serving your customers, things like that. So the next digital strategy is what we just mentioned, dive into video. Photos are great and they really capture the beauty of our product, but video on its own is it's a medium that's unlike any other. Just because like through this video, I'm giving you a lot more extra information that isn't found in the written word or in a photo. So that adage, a photo says 1,000 words, well, a video I guess says 1,000,000. I don't know what the scale is, but something to that effect. So you need to start retooling yourself with gadgets and skills that are in and around publishing video to the said things that we just mentioned, including your social, but now including YouTube. So we'll talk about this in future articles. But YouTube, on it's 2 billion users, and it's the world's 2nd largest search engine. And in case you didn't know, and I think most people know this, but YouTube is actually owned by Google. So I'm sure there's a lot of magic happening in the back algorithms that if you have YouTube videos and then you have links that drive back to your site, it's great for search engine optimization. And that's our 4th digital strategy that we'd like to talk about. SEO is still a relevant digital practice because although social may be really sexy at this point and will always be more sexier than SEO, quite frankly, people still find you, and the only means of them paying you is through your website. So you need to absolutely be found on the first page of search results, not only found, but rank high in that search. And there's a huge disparity between the amount of traffic that people who are in the first position get versus the people who are in the bottom third. And it's literally the first top 4 positions net about 80+% of all the traffic. And when you talk about websites, it's really just a numbers game because you want to drive as many people to your websites, because in theory and in practice, most websites get only 3% conversion. So out of every 100 visitors, only 3 actually make a purchase, right? So if you're the florist that's getting 100 versus the florist that is only getting like 10, then you do the math, you know? You have a lot more likelihood of making more money if you're ranked higher. And again, it's just a numbers game. The last digital strategy has everything to do with that numbers game, because with paid advertising, you could kind of jerry-rig that system. Because when you actually pay for clicks, it does 2 things. It gets you to the very, very top of that search page, just because of where it's positioned, and you're also paying for the click. So regardless of whether a click is organic or paid, it still counts as a click, and it contributes to your SEO. So something to consider. The other thing that we'll talk about in depth in an upcoming article is the fact that paid search allows you to compete effectively with mass marketers who are also competing for those same clicks. And it also protects your business, because a lot of these mass marketers, national competitors, they know exactly who you are. If you've been a florist that has been around for 10, 15, 20 years, they will actually use your business name as a search term in their advertising. So imagine that. A person who's a customer of yours, most probably, because who else would be typing in your name, will type in your name thinking that your website will pop up at the very top. But if you're not doing any advertising, even to protect your business name, their ad will pop up. That customer will probably unknowingly, click on that link thinking it's you, and it's not. They get something, and who gets the complaint? It's probably you, because their mind was thinking, well, I typed in Renato's Flowers in Jacksonville, Florida. I've been doing business with them for 10 years. Well, I'm sure that's them. But anyway, those are our 5 strategies that we talk about this month. And like I said in the article, we're going to dive really deep into each one of these strategies in future articles to give you all the detail and all the strategy points that you need to really develop a solid digital marketing campaign or strategy and campaigns. So I hope you enjoy the article, and I will catch you at the next issue. Bye.